welcome to the tutorial for the free pattern for the cloth shoes that you can find at ceciliasspot.com, where fun and creativity collide. And on our last tutorial we made this lovely little sleeper here, and I'm making this as a gift for a friend. So what I'd like to do is make some matching baby shoes, okay? So you can find the pattern, and I'm just going to use fleece. You can use 2 different materials. I'm doing this for the winter, and it's a baby, so they're not going to be walking around on these shoes either. And I'm using the same color, but you are free to have, 2 different colors if you want the inside to be a different color than the outside pattern. And it's kind of a preference if you want to have, a double layer, like inside and outside. And most people do. So what I have is I have 4 cut of each piece on the tutorial. So that's what you want to do. You want to cut your 4 pieces, and then you want to take these upper parts first, and you want to take them and face them together just like every other tutorial we do. And then you're just gonna sew right down here, okay? Don't forget your little back stitches. So go ahead and sew both of them together, okay? And then we'll come back for the next step. Okay, so you have it sewn. What you want to do next is press it flat or use your iron, and then stitch just right across to create a nice little seam there. And you can see I did that already with this one. It's already completed, so go ahead and do that to both. Okay, so you already have sewn these 2. So we'll go, I got some thread sticking out, which will just go to the next part, which is to take the heel part, and you want to do the same thing. You want to take the fabrics and put the pattern sides together, and then all we're going to do is go ahead and sew down one side, okay, for each of them. Okay, so just go ahead and sew. Okay, so now that you've sewn across, mine's a little messy, but you get your elastic. I used about 4 inches. It depends on how tight you want it, of course. So you want to pin the elastic to the one side, and then what you're going to do is you're actually going to stretch it to the other side and sew it on right to the fabric, okay? So as you're sewing, you're going to stretch it, and I'm going to do the zigzag, okay? So believe it or not, this whole thing is going to stretch across to this side with the zigzag pattern. Okay, so do that for both of your heels. Okay, so you'll see it curls once you're done with that elastic sewn on there, and that's what you want. What you're going to do now is turn it right side out like this one, and then we're going to do a stitch right across the top here. So I kind of pinned it a little crazy, but just to make it stay and look nice, I'm going to do a stitch right here below the elastic. And since it's a little uneven on this one, I am just going to go around to make it look nice and just sew all the way around and then kind of trim it up a little bit. So go ahead and do that for both your heel pieces. Okay, so now you're done sewing your 2 heel pieces. The next thing you want to do is take your soles, and you're actually going to take them just like everything else and put pattern facing pattern for both of them. And then you're going to do a basting stitch all the way around. Now the basting stitch is like the big loose stitch that you want to do so you can take it out later, okay? So set it to like a very long setting. And go ahead and do that for both of them, and just make sure you have the top of the sole and the bottom of the sole matched up correctly when you do this. Okay, so next what you want to do is take the upper part of your shoe and then the heel, and you're going to put them together with a pin here. You're just going to pin them just like that, like it would be on the shoe, on the actual sole. Okay. So what you want to do is pin it on. Now, I realize this size is a little big for the baby I'm making it for, so I'm kind of adjusting it and putting the strap a little bit forward more than usual, but you can take a look and see as far as the sizing goes when you do it. So I'm going to pin it, and then I'm going to sew right here and down and back, okay? And this is a regular stitch. You know, you want to make sure you back stitch. It's not like the basting that we did here where you don't back stitch, okay? So go ahead and do that for both of your shoes. Just pin them up like that and then sew them, okay? And then we'll come back. Okay, you can see it's sewn on. Okay, and here's the other side, which will be the right side out. What you want to do is actually line it up. You want to find the middle of the front and the back, so you can easily do that by folding it, okay? And you want to do the same thing with the sole, and you want to look and see which side of the sole is the front and the back of the sole. And if you forget, you can use your pattern, or, I mean, the back of the sole is the smaller part, okay? So you can kind of tell. And that's my daughter in her little walker, but you want to take this and pin it, you know, the center with the center of the front and the center of the back, which I started doing here on this one already, as you can see. So you want to pin it all the way around. I'm working on it. You can also trim it. I did trim a little bit from the sides here. And then you're going to sew it all the way around, okay? And make sure it's a nice tight stitch this time. And then we'll come back because we're almost done. So do that for both of your shoes, and then we'll meet back. Okay, so I've sewn it all the way around, as you can see here. What you want to do is go around and trim. You know, be careful for where your thread line is, but trim around so that the inside's nice. And then you want to turn it inside out, and you'll get something like this. I'm gonna put this lovely button on it. You can also feel free to sew a bow on. I'm actually thinking about putting a little bit of this ribbon on there too, right across the front here. So you can really kind of do whatever you want. Go crazy. And that's it. So go ahead and trim and flip them right side out. If you enjoyed this project from Cecilia's Spot, and if you want the matching outfit from the beginning, then go ahead and check out our last tutorial for that. All right, have fun.